What's up, y'all? We're gonna be watching some animated horror stories. A little bit different, but I think it might be a little interesting. This one says three true night shift horror stories. Let's get into it.
Let the man I'm with see this. He's going to take me somewhere bad.
My hands shook as I read the note I'd found tucked between the packets of Doritos. Before I could even process what I was reading, I found another one tucked behind the bags of Pringles. It said the same exact thing. I scanned the aisle. At the far end, a little girl was watching me with tear-filled eyes. She looked about 8 or 9, with dark hair and a purple hoodie. She was pale, fidgeting with the hem of her sweatshirt. As soon as our eyes met, she looked in the direction of the man she had come in with. I stood up, clutching the note. I had to do something, but it was way past midnight and there were hardly any people around to help me if he had a weapon. I'd been working the graveyard shift at the Allendale Road Quick Mart for 7 months. It was usually just me from 11 to 7, except for the occasional truckers and insomniacs. But the pay was decent and I really liked the quiet. It was a normal Monday night. Around 12:40, the little girl walked in with a middle-aged dude in a trench coat. He had a scruffy, unkempt beard and was holding her hand really tight. They went straight to the beverage aisle. "Grab whatever you want. I won't stop after this," he told her. She nodded and wandered over to the snacks. At a glance, they looked like a normal father and daughter, but the way she kept checking on him made me pay attention. She seemed anxious and fidgety as she started grabbing cookies and candy. About 5 minutes later, a few customers came in. I rang them up, then headed over to restock the snack aisle. Suddenly, I saw a pink note tucked between bags of chips and another one between the cookies. All of them were a desperate call for help. Walking back to the register, I saw she'd left even more of them. I felt sick, thinking about what she might be going through. I slipped into the back office and dialed 911 just before he rounded the corner with the little girl. He was holding a bottle of water and a pack of gum. Getting a better look at him, he seemed like a completely average guy in his 40s and looked like one of those neighbors you'd never look twice at. He flashed a smile as he set his things on the counter. I forced a smile back, trying to keep him talking until the police showed up.
Cute girl. Is she your daughter?
"Yeah,
How old is she?
8. He started making small talk about road conditions while I rang him up. He sounded totally relaxed, like there wasn't a single thing wrong in the world. Meanwhile, the girl stood behind his left shoulder, staring at the floor the entire time. He grabbed his change, said thanks, and walked her out. Right then, 2 patrol cars pulled into the lot. He saw the lights, stopped, and put his hands up. Officers swarmed him before he even got to his car. He kept shouting that it was a mistake, that he was her father, and that he was taking her home. They searched the trunk and found a toolkit with duct tape and zip ties, plus a bag of kids' clothes. They arrested him on the spot. He was still yelling as they shoved him into the back of the cruiser. They took the girl to the hospital to get checked out. The cop who checked in with me before he left said she barely spoke and kept asking for her mom. I went home at 7 a.m., feeling like a hero. I even texted my mom about it. A week later, 2 detectives came by. They sat me down and dropped the truth. The guy was indeed her dad. He just won full custody after a long court battle and was driving her to his place in another state. The kid was furious about leaving her mom, so she planted those notes, hoping someone would stop the trip. The duct tape and zip ties were work
That
gear from his
little
construction
shit.
job. The clothes were his younger daughter's. I didn't know what to say. Then, the detective mentioned that her mom had been arrested 2 days earlier. Her phone was full of messages showing she'd spent weeks coaching the kid on exactly what to do if her dad got custody. The detective thanked me and said I did the right thing based on what I saw. I nodded and showed them out. I kept thinking about the guy's face when they threw him in that cruiser. Now, when I look back, he doesn't seem angry. Instead, he looks desperate. caught in yet another act of manipulation and realizing he really couldn't trust his child. Like he knew how bad it looked, but couldn't get the words out fast enough to explain. And I made it tougher for him. My mom kept saying I did what I thought was right. Maybe that's true, but I didn't save a kid that night. But it sure doesn't feel like it.